The headline reads, Gary Thorne to teach play-by-play for the Cronkite School. Tell us about it. What's going on here?
Scary, Thomas. Very scary news right there. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. The Cronkite School was very interested in having someone in their journalistic program and the sports section in particular to do some play-by-play instruction, which they'd never had before, and they have some students who are actually involved in the Cape Cod League games they're doing in the summertime on their own, some independent league games. They do some spring training stuff, and so they reached out, and I went down there in the off season and had a visit, and we worked things out, and we can do this online, which they do a lot of there. And in fact, I've already done one course, and I love it. The students are great. They're very interested. Obviously, they really want to do this, and I love teaching. I've done it before, so I'm very happy it worked out.
So being a national name, obviously they recognize, for what you've done in your career. Let's talk a little bit about some of the advice that you would give them as a teacher.
Well, I told them this is going to be a participatory class. I want a lot of questions from you. I want to know what you're thinking about as students as you're doing this. What's on your mind? What do you think you need to know? And we started with the just basic fundamentals of the preparation for a game. How do you do it? And this covers all sports. It's not just baseball. But getting into the mental frame of how to prepare, how to do that on a daily basis, trying to find the sources that you trust and use them, how to put stories in your saddlebag that you'll need for the game, just in case the game gets out of hand and you need to have some stuff you pull out that's available that's going to be interesting and entertaining. That's the kind of things that we do. I mean, what I'm trying to do is go through what I do in a game and what I've learned from others that they do in a game and say, look, here it is. And I told them there's an art and a science to this. The art part I can talk about with you. The science part I can talk about with you, the preparation and what you do. The art part of it's going to be up to you. Who you're going to be, what do you want to be as an announcer, how do you want to be perceived, that sort of thing is the art part of this work that we do, and that'll be up to them.
How about the biggest difference between radio and television when you try to instruct them?
Well, the biggest difference is age old. My former partner, Bob Murphy, the great Murph for the New York Mets, one of the originals, used the term always that's been used, I think, forever, and that's when you're on radio, you're painting a picture. And when you're on TV, you're describing a picture. It's two very different things. There's nothing worse to me than having somebody on radio doing a TV play-by-play. You go crazy if you're listening because you don't know what's going on. And the same thing's true the other way. Somebody on TV doing a radio play-by-play will drive you nuts because it's too much gab, too much talk. I can see that. I don't need that to be said. And trying to get the kids to understand that, and especially when they're going back and forth between the two, and how to use a monitor in one sense and not use it when you're on radio, how to talk about it when you're doing a replay. Do you try and hide it and say, well, I think what happened, and you're really looking at a replay and you know what happened? So we talk about those kind of practical things that go on in the course of a broadcast.
How about the difference in calling sports? Obviously, you've had a career in hockey and baseball.
Yeah, well, there's a very big difference. I mean, baseball's open for the stories. I think you need to be, you got to have more in the saddlebag to talk about. Hockey doesn't give you any time to talk about anything, but it's very important in hockey. I've always said in hockey and basketball, two of the toughest things to do for fans who are either watching or listening is to identify the players at the time a play is made. It drives me nuts when a great pass is made or a great block is made, even on television, and you don't hear who it was. I want to know who was that, who just made that great pass. And you don't hear that. I think that's important even on television to do, but you don't have much time. And in hockey, you're just trying to stay with the play. What's going on? Where's the puck? Try and pick up some things that are peripheral if they look like they're going to affect what's going on the ice. But other than that, if you can stay with the play, you're in pretty good shape.